Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Quick Word Tuesday. I am grateful that you all are joining me on this awesome Tuesday morning. Just share and tag and share. Let somebody know that I am on. We're going to give them just a few more seconds just to join in. Good morning. Good morning. But I want to tell each and every one of you, I thank you so much for joining us. We got a quick but powerful word. I hope it's gonna be quick, but we got a powerful word, and I am awesome. I feel awesome to be able to share it with everyone that joins in on today. On today, I think you can just see at the bottom of the screen, it just got 12. If you could just write in the comments for me, 12. Just the number 12. Just the number 12. I've been looking at this. I've been praying over it. I've been standing on this, and God has been doing some amazing, amazing things with just the number 12. I promise you, after this, you probably won't ever look at the number 12 the same way ever again. Just write in the comments 12, 12, 12. As I was teaching and preaching on this past Sunday, I was talking about the woman with the issue of blood. And the woman with the issue of blood, she had it for 12 years. 12 years. And we often times we talk about the woman, but we don't ever really just understand the power that the transformation that the woman was actually about to go into, or the real power of this story, of the text. We always think about I can't imagine bleeding that long, and which I can't either. Bleeding that long, suffering that long, going through something for that long. All of us have been through something. It might not have bled that long, but we have gone through maybe some heartache, some financial trouble, maybe some marital stuff, maybe some stuff with our children, just stuff, life, jobs, not able to get our business going, not able to kind of understand where God is trying to take us with our ministry, with what God is actually doing with the call that's on our life. And sometimes we will suffer in a place much longer than 12. But today, the number 12 is a number that I want to talk about. So I kept saying that why is it, Lord, that she had to suffer for 12 years? Why did she had to go through something for 12 years when, God, I know that you could have been able to heal her, just with a word. You could have just said heal, and she would have been healed, long before the 12 years ever got started. And the Lord took me back to how she was trying to do it herself. And so sometimes we stay in a situation. That's point number one. We stay in it so long because we trying to do it ourselves. She didn't actually go to God first. But we're gonna get there. I promise you. I'm gonna work, but I want you to walk with me. That the woman actually stayed there because the text says that the woman spent all her life long living on going to the doctors. So therefore, she tried to do it herself. She stayed in a place. Maybe God didn't want her to stay there 12 years. But I want to work also Romans 8:28, one of my favorite scriptures, that all things work together for the good of them that are loved and called according to his purpose. So God was saying to me that she stayed there so long, but because she was trying to do it herself. How many of us have been in situations and we keep saying, I'm trying to do it, I'm trying to figure it out. We stay home from church, we don't come to church because we're trying to figure it out. We run to the loan company, we run to our friends that laugh and talk about us because they know that we're struggling. We share our business with them. They go out and tell other people, they talk about us, they lie about us, they scandalize our name, they walk all over us, and they try to make us feel smaller than what we already feel because we went to them and never went to God. And so God is saying that all of this stuff, that you find people always trying to do things themselves. They don't really trust the power of God because they only see it in their own strength. Somebody shout, in my own strength. And I'm guilty. I'll try to figure it out. I'll bake a cake. I'll bake some cookies. I'll I do something in order. I take an extra client. I can be tired, but yet I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to be able to do it in my own strength instead of going to God. So all of us are guilty. All of us are guilty of this same thing. But the Lord was now saying to me, he said, but now that I said that now you're going to try to do it in your own strength, I'm going to at least make it work for you. So God is now saying that the woman was there for 12 years. 12 meant authority. So because of every year that she wasted trying to do it in her own strength, she lost authority. Yeah. I wish that I was at not K Branch, at Divine Destiny Ministries, and had Brother Kelvin and Brother Tony and Brother Darnell over there in the corner. She had to go through it for 12 years because she actually didn't just lose money. She lost dignity. She lost shame. She stayed in a place, and she also lost authority. God said to me, we don't know our authority. That's how come we are played with the enemy so long, and we will give the enemy more chances than we give God. Oh my God. Because once God have not worked or done the thing that we want him to do in the time manner that we want him to do it, we immediately give more time to the devil than we will to God. We'll say, I tried God. Tried God, and I tried him, but he didn't work. So we immediately go back to what we're able to control. And so because we're able to control it, we think that we're in control of it when actually it has control over us. Oh my God. God said, so I got to put some sharpener. So we will lose our authority that God has given us because we have now laid it down to give it to the enemy, for the enemy now to control our outcome. I promise you, I'm coming. So now the Lord said to me, he said, for 12 years, I could have healed her. I let her stay in the place that she was. Every miracle in the Bible, every other miracle in the Bible that Jesus ever done, Jesus, he basically went to them. He asked the man with a man to stretch out his hand. He was at the man with the pool of Bethesda, and he asked him, do you want to be made whole? He was at the wedding, and he changed the water into wine. Basically, somebody was trying to call me, I'm sorry. Basically, almost every miracle in the Bible, Jesus was already at them. But this time, because she went to everything else, she went to everybody else, God, Jesus, he was just passing by. He was on his way to do another miracle with Jairus's daughter. And because he got interrupted by the woman that tried everything else, he said, now I'll stop. God said, make me stop for you. She made Jesus stop in his tracks. And now let me get back to the number 12. 12 means authority. 12 means authority. So what she lost in the 12 years, God gave it back to her in one day. My God. What she lost in 12 years, God gave it back to her in one day by her pressing to reach towards him. Now, as I was studying, each person wore a robe. And see, one of my friends, she called me the other day because they was trying to buy a robe for this bishop that works with them. And she messaged me. She said, hey, Pastor, do bishops wear different robes than everybody else? I said, yeah. They do. And I say, honestly, even pastors, elders wear different collars even than ministers. And you are able to basically tell the identity of who the person is in the office that they walk in by their robe. Jesus' identity was in the robe, in the hem of his garment. It was in the garment that he wore. As I was studying, it also says that by her touching the hem of his garment, where he got his, where Jesus' identity was, she was able to now, because listen, when we stay in a place so long and people start telling us that we'll never amount to anything, that we're not good enough, we're not called, you're not smart enough, you don't matter, and we say, and we battle with all those thoughts in our head. But she was able to find the identity of her own self just by touching the hem of his garment. Now, in the beginning of the text says that it was a woman with the issue of blood. But by the time we got to the end of the text, it was no longer talking about the woman with the issue of blood, because oftentimes people will only address you by your known issue. Because I know that you got an issue. They might have known that such and such was a crackhead, so that's what they called them. They might have known you to be an alcoholic, so that's what they called you. They might have known that you was a woman of the night, so that's what they called you. And so people will begin to call you by your issue. They say that you're a liar. They'll say that you're a whoremonger. They'll say all the stuff about you. But what they refuse to call you, listen, because even now, that when you don't agree with people and you stand up for what you believe in, they won't call you a woman of God. They won't call you a man of God. They won't call you a pastor. They won't call you a prophetess. What they'll call you is, you say you are, or you think you are, because now they're trying to diminish your identity. Can you imagine? For 12 years they played with her identity. She thought that she was never anything. She had to be basically alone, because they looked at her as being dirty. There's some people now, they look at you as being dirty. They're saying that, because I know what she used to do. I know what Sister Tanya has said. I know how she used to live. And so then they'll begin to call you by your issue and not the fact that you're now a daughter. And see, in the midst of the 12 years, God said I had to allow her to go through a transformation. I don't know, maybe y'all know, I don't know how long the caterpillar actually be in the cocoon, but I know that there got to be a transformation, because when he comes out, he's no longer the caterpillar, he's now the butterfly. And so God said that it took 12 years for her to shed the skin of the stuff that she was walking around carrying for 12 long years. It took her 12 years to go through the metamorphosis stage for her to now come out, now being daughter. For 12 years, it took her to have to bleed out the fact that I was alone, that I was rejected, that I was talked about, that I was scandalized, that I was treated like I was dirty. It took her 12 years to bleed that out of her, for God now to not longer say that woman with the issue of blood, but now call her daughter. How long will it take for you to be able to have to bleed out what they said about you, how they talked about you, how they scandalized your name, how they looked over you, how they rejected you, how they stepped on your neck? How long will it take for you to be able to go through the transformation, the metamorphosis stage, for you now to say, I am daughter, I am son? Thank you, Minister Bianca. She said that it takes 5 to 21 days for a caterpillar to be able to change to a butterfly. But God is saying it took this woman 12 years. 12. The Lord used me to prophesy at my church this past Sunday that he was going to do it in 12 hours. 12 hours. All I kept saying to God was 12. Yes, I'm a daughter. Somebody write that in the comments. I'm a daughter. I'm a son. I'm a daughter. I'm a son. I'm a daughter. I'm a son. And he said, he called her daughter and said that, daughter, your faith has made you whole. My God, my God, my God, my God. I gotta save some more for y'all for Bible study on the night, because I'm telling you, I'm locked and loaded. I'm ready now. But Lord used me to prophesy and said that 12 hours there was going to be some stuff to begin to take place. Miracles was going to be produced. That's why I just wrote in the comment 12. People been texting, people been calling me. People was messaging me saying, I don't even go to your church, but I watched your live. I grabbed it for my self. Um, um, Me and my husband have been going back and forth with a battle ever since 2020. It's now 2024. We've been going back and forth with the battle. And basically, the people told us that we basically going to have to eat it if you don't have it resolved by October the 10th. By October the 10th. What's today's date? Today's date is October the 22nd. And the Lord used me to prophesy. And the people still did not have all the information ready. But I kept saying, God, you told me 12, 12. 12. I started feeling like that we was losing our authority. I started feeling like that I've been speaking and I've been declaring, I've been walking forth, and I've been calling those things that be not as though they already are, because God, you gave me 12 hours. You said 12 hours. Me and Brother Kelvin, the musician at the church, he said to me, he said that when people give me a date, he said, I look for it to happen. If they tell me it's going to happen in 12 hours, he said, I look for it to happen in 12 hours. If they tell me that it's going to happen in 5 days, 3 days, 10 days, whatever, he said, I look for it to begin to happen. He said, because now you put a date on it. He said that, and I was like, okay, God. So God, you said this to me. And I just had this conversation with him on last week. And so God, don't put me out here like this. I know that I'm a prophet, and I know that I am, but God, you gave me 12 hours. You gave me 12 hours. And so God, I need for you to be able to move. And so I received the letter on yesterday, and I'm gonna just be honest, I was afraid to open up the letter because I knew the severity of the situation. And I was like, God, I just laid it on the dresser and I just walked around all day long and I just prayed. And every time I walked by, I pat on it and I kept saying 12, 12, 12, 12. And that's all I kept saying was 12. I was walking through the house and just kept saying 12, 12. And I finally started taking my shower on last night. And when I got out of the shower and I said, look, God has not given me the spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. So I began to open up the letter. When I began to open up the letter, it started off and called out our names and said that this is not a bill. I said, oh my God. I started reading it, and it said, because some information was released to us, we got to now go back and we got to now resolve the situation. We found on our end that there was some stuff that was incorrect. Come on, Jesus. He said 12 hours. And they said that, so now we got to go back and we got to refigure some stuff. So we'll be back to you in about 90 days. And the other people that we was just talking to the day before, they said to us that we found our mistake and we might not have it done by the time that they are asking for it. But listen to me, how God began to work. God began to get in the computer and show and allow it to be flagged to them to show them now to back up, because God is now on the scene. What is God is saying? When you begin to feel like you have lost all your strength and you have begun to try everything else and put your trust in everybody else, God will remind you in the 12th hour that I will give you back your authority, that you will begin to now walk in the power and authority that God has now given you. I know it's been tough. I know it's been hard. I know what the doctor said. I know how it looked. I've been there before my own self, but I'm here to tell you, people already sent messages and said that they have already got approved for homes. The IRS debt was dropped. They already told me they got jobs. They already told me different things that work for them. As a matter of fact, my husband got an unexpected check in the mail that we was not even looking for, and we received that. We received that on this past Monday, because God said 12 hours. God said 12 hours. We begin to grab each other and begin to dance in the middle of the floor, because God told us 12. I'm telling y'all, I'm telling the church, I'm telling the people of God, stop playing with God. If you're going to believe him, believe what God said. But if you ain't going to believe him, that is you. But as for me and my house, we going to serve the Lord, and we're going to stand on business. Stand on business. One more thing, and I'm about to let you go. A woman messaged me on today, and she said, Pastor, I'm telling you that thing blessed my whole soul. I was about to run off the treadmill when I was reading it. The woman said to me, she said, Pastor, she said, I wasn't at church on Sunday, but I grabbed a hold of the word that was spoken. And she said, and I just told my sister, she said, I told my sister that is an anointed woman of God. I don't care what nobody say about her. I don't care what nobody think about her. That woman does not miss. And she said, and I was staying 10 toes down for her. And I was like, my God, that thing did something to me, because you know what? Because when you try to stand for holiness and you try to stand for righteousness, I'm telling you right now, you're going to have all kind of folk that try to come up and try to make you feel like that you're not who you say that you are, that you cannot do what God has called you forth to do. They will try to scandalize your name. They'll try to make you feel like that you ain't doing what I know that God has called you forth to do. Listen, don't listen to that folk. God will always send reminders. He'll always send people to be able to push you. He'll always send people to encourage you. He'll always send reminders to let you know that you're on the right course, doing what God has called you forth to do. So no matter what they say, no matter what they think, listen here. I'm rocking with God. I'm here with God. And listen, they might not like me. I was just telling my son earlier. I said, baby, a lot of them don't like me because listen, this is how I am. If I believe that you're right, I back you. But if I believe that you're wrong, I'm telling you right now, I don't go alone. I don't go alone. You can be my mama, you can be my brother, you can be my daddy, you can be my aunt, you can be my uncle. But if you're wrong, you're just wrong. And I believe that, and I stand on it. And I've been like that ever since I was a child. So I know that I'm not the one that'll butter you up and know that I see you going in the wrong direction. And I see that it ain't right. And I'm like, yeah, you go ahead, because you know I don't want to disturb your feathers. Now I'm the one that's going to ruffle your feathers. I'm going to be the one that's going to tell you that you're wrong, because at the end of the day got to end. But at the end of the day, I got to stand before God, and God is going to judge me. And I got to make sure that I have clean hands and a pure heart. Listen, you ain't got to like me. But one thing that I do know, that God loves me. This is Quick Word Tuesday. Y'all better keep prophesying 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. I'm believing 12 hours. I'm believing. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, overseer. Overseer, yes. At the end of the day gotta end. But when it ends, it's gonna be all on God. Oh my God. That right, they just blessed me. I'm ready to run to the church right now. 12. 12. I believe that for Uncle Scotty. I believe that for you, for Sister Lisa Parker. I believe that for you, Sister Veronica Wilson. I'm believing the approval is coming forth for you. I'm believing for the back pay. I'm believing for the increase. I'm believing for it. 12 hours before we can even get out of the church Sunday. Sister Kendra already came to us with God is already moving. And we wasn't even out of the church building yet. Listen, you can't tell me what God cannot do. 12. I'll wait on y'all testimony. I ain't cocky. I just believe. I ain't cocky. I just know who I serve. 12. 12. 12. Have an awesome and wonderful day. Just go on your personal pages and just put 12 hours. 12 hours. I think there's a show that come on that says 48 hours. They have 48 hours to solve the crime. God told me 12. God gonna settle the case for you in 12 hours. Have an awesome and wonderful day. Listen, if this live has been a blessing to you, share and tag and share. Send us some stars. Do whatever you need to do, but be a blessing to this ministry. It's getting ready to happen for TRP and my family. Absolutely, sir. Absolutely, sir. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. God already said it, and I believe it. Two locations. That what he gave me for y'all. I already believe it. I believe the word of the Lord. Have an awesome and wonderful day.